All right, we're in it. Just right off the top, like unbelievable move by our counterpart Jacob. Purdue gets their biggest non-conference win in 40 something. Hold on. As we speak, I just got the text. Hold on. This is cinema right now. Like, dude, as I started talking, I get the text from Jacob. Like, damn it. Like, is this text? Hold on. This is nuts. This is nuts. Live television, folks, or podcasting. What a start. What a start. 10 seconds into the podcast, I'm writing Jacob's funeral and I get a text from Jacob. Damn it. Like, um, crazy. Crazy. What a start. Matt, how are you doing tonight, man? We just watched a fucking banger. I thought we were going to lead off with this one since we just watched it, but if Jacob's going to join us, then we can lead off with what happened last night. So let's, you know, kind of toss the rock around for a second and see if Jacob's going to show up in here or not.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed. When I first started watching Arizona UCLA, it was like, wow, what a fucking rocket to start off conference play here. And then I was like, oh, wait, no longer. Same league.
Nope.
So,
It's a classic Big 10, Big 12 matchup right
yeah,
here.
so very annoying there. But yeah, great game in that one. Arizona looking like a just force on both ends of the floor. So yeah,
I mean, the
promising
Arizona
win
was
there.
forcing. The turnovers Arizona was forcing in this game were crazy. They they had I got to see what the final box score was, but like 30 something points in this game off turnover. Like,
Yeah, and it's a good sign for them because that game was played at UCLA's pace for the most part, and it didn't seem to phase them in any way. So yeah, good sign for Arizona there because the last few years, just really every year in the Tommy Lloyd era, defense has kind of been optional at times. Whereas this year, it's kind of something they can really lean into, and as you said, forcing turnovers like crazy there with some pretty good UCLA guards also. So yeah, very good sign there for Arizona.
one of my biggest concerns coming out of this one is the fact like UCLA brought Donovan Dent in because like they didn't have anybody who could get them a bucket on this offense last year. Like it was painful to watch them. And I mean they bring in Donovan Dent because you get like one of the best shot creators in the nation and a guy who can be a spark plug for your offense and get it going. And it's like they started to knock down some shots like late in the second half, but Dent was like not good. And like what we've seen from UCLA so far is like this is still like the same, just like nasty Mick Cronin style UCLA, where it's like they got to get the production from somewhere on this team. And you paid Donovan Dent a lot of money to come in and be that guy. And it's like he has not been that guy for this team so far. So it's like he's going to have to figure it out quick, or it's just going to be like Mick Cronin's going to end up hitting himself in the head with a chair before the end of this year or something on the bench. Because I mean, it has to be infuriating. Like we know how frustrated he was last year with that team and their inability to create anything on offense and knock down shots. And like you bring in guys that are supposed to open up the offense, and like it's just not happening for them right now to the level they probably expected it to. And it's like had to just be an infuriating game for Mick and that crew.
Yeah, I mean, for one, I'm sure Mick was a little calmer because the game was on the West Coast. They didn't have to travel. I know that was the biggest point of contention with them last year. Um, but I think the biggest problem that they're going to have to figure out here is that New Mexico team last year, Donovan Dent left, was a really back and forth type of team. And they were really forcing the issue offensively, really kind of high tempo team. And under Mick Cronin, that's never been what they've wanted to be on offense. And Donovan Dent he really is a do-it-all kind of guard. Really good passer. And obviously the scoring kind of speaks for itself. But yeah, they brought him in. That was probably one of the better moves made in the portal. It seemed like a pretty good fit. Seemed as if that was an area they needed to address quite a bit. And it's still kind of like a slogfest a bit more than you would want to see with the kind of talent that they have on offense this year. So they were able to bring Arizona kind of to a halt in some areas, which is not necessarily the worst thing for their team. I don't know if they felt that if they pushed the tempo with them that they were not going to be able to keep up. But yeah, as you said, you bring in Donovan Dent to, run your offense and score. And they just have not, I feel as if he has not been given the full leash he needs to really be productive. And I will stop talking and see my
Jacob,
time over here. Yeah.
you saved yourself from an all-time. Like, I was like, Purdue gets their biggest non-conference win in 45 years or however long it's been. And this is the night. Like, we got a top 15 matchup on TV to watch, and I'm like, this is the night Jacob falls asleep. Like this is the night it's bedtime. Like I figured like this would have been like one of the most because like Purdue didn't have a great year last year. Like there weren't a ton of opportunities for you to come on here and bang the drum on Purdue. And I was like, this is Jacob's show. Like this is his time. Like what a huge non-conference win that was. Like obviously I'm thrilled Bama lost too. And I was like, is this the show that Jacob just falls asleep? Like doesn't show up for?
I just kind of freaking, since we moved it back in like win at 11:30, like I kind of just nodded off on the couch and I woke up and I was like, oh crap, here we go. And
I was like, yeah, we had to start late because we had a banger top 15 game on. And like I know like great game. Me and Matt were talking about it a little bit, and I don't think we wanted to go live like just during that game. So like it was like, all right, I guess we'll run it late tonight, and then I was like, this motherfucker fell asleep. Like
I've had a long day, and I was up late last night as well, of course, for obvious reasons. And then but yeah, massive win for Purdue last night. I was on cloud 9.
Yeah, let's I'll set it up to tee you off a little bit more. But Purdue goes on the road in Tuscaloosa, gets the 87-80 win. Right off the top, like on the road in Tuscaloosa, like I said this last night. The announcers were doing their very best to make it seem like Coleman Coliseum is just like the most off the walls, intimidating road environment in the country. And I was like, oh, it gets so loud we can't hear each other. No, it's not. Like, no, it's not. Like, that's just that was just they were trying to gas that up hard. Like, we know Coleman Coliseum is not like it ain't what they were trying to make it out to be. So
yeah, it was like a church, honestly. Like every Purdue fan was like, for a top 10 environment, that's it sounded like it didn't even sound like Mackey when we were playing like freaking SIU Edwardsville or something. Like it sounded like a church crowd, wine and cheese, Wofford crowd.
I love it. All right. So, look, like, I'll give you your minute, but, like, so Alabama had no answer for TKR, Daniel Jacobson in the paint. Like they were, like, they could not get the stops on those guys. Like, they were everything. They were taking everything easy that Bama was giving to them. And it was the exact opposite of what we saw with St. John's against them, where, like, they were able to just dominate in the paint on the glass against St. John's. And then like this game couldn't have gone more the opposite way. Like really makes you think about St. John's and what they got going on there right now. They were just, I guess they were just their defensive game plan was like, we're just going to play drop coverage on Braden Smith and see if he can make shots. Yeah, it turns out the preseason National Player of the Year can knock down some shots. So he had 29 points. That was Alabama's defensive strategy against Braden Smith in this game, like, blew my mind. Like, they were not putting any pressure on him. They were giving him wide open looks from three and just like staying in drop coverage. And Braden Smith is like I said, he's the preseason National Player of the Year for a reason. So, like, yeah, he's gonna he can knock down those shots. Like, he's not scared to. It certainly wasn't a game that's gonna help him break Bobby Hurley's assist record last night.
Mhm.
But I mean, he took what they gave him, and it's like, yeah, you play drop coverage and give the preseason National Player of the Year wide open threes. Like, he's gonna take it. So Braden Smith had an awesome game. TKR and Daniel Jacobson were dominant. Great win, great win for Purdue. So you deserve the floor for this one. Boiler up.
Yeah, boiler up. There is the big, just on that point you were making right there. I think they made the executive decision to just exclusively guard Fletcher Lawyer, and did not guard the pick and roll at all. But the big stat of the game is we out rebounded Alabama 52-28.
My God.
That
and this is after, like I said, Bama looked really good on the glass against St. John's. So
Purdue, it didn't look good from the board the first couple games, but TKR being back, it just made all the difference in the world as far as spacing. Like, him and Clough just hit the boards the whole game, and that dominated. And Smith just took over. Like, every shot was going in for him. Like,
and LeBaron Philon was fucking horrible in this game. Like, that's a huge part of this too. Like, he was terrible. Like not just 5 for 14 from the field, 1 for 6 from three. He was awful in this game, and they had no answer on defense for anything Purdue was throwing at them. They could go inside, they could knock down threes. Like, nobody on Bama could guard in this game. And it's honestly insane that they were able to keep this game as close as they did. Like, because watching this game, like, Purdue was clearly the better team in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Bama had no answer for anything Purdue was throwing at them. And, like Purdue ends up winning 87-80, and felt like it should have been a lot more of a blowout than that.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable calls down the stretch. It seemed like every time the one bad thing Purdue didn't guard the perimeter with Aiden Holloway, but we just kind of were playing smart physical basketball the whole game. We're keeping that game under control, not letting it become as much of a shootout as it could have been. We just kind of played smart ball and didn't turn the ball over all that much, outside of a couple times. But like when Fletcher Lawyer got lazy with the ball. But I will tell you, the one player that was massive in this game as well, Omer Meyer. He was massive in that 6-minute stretch when Braden Smith wasn't in the game in the first half. He was excellent, off the bench. And then he, of course, you just got – this is one of those performances where, as a Purdue fan, I'm like, I can't wait to watch this team again. Like, I'm ready for the next game. Like, this feels like 2 years ago, even better than 2 years ago.
I mean, that was you should absolutely feel that way. Like, that was an awesome game, and that was an awesome win. And it's and Matt can jump in and be the unbiased, the narrative coming out of this game, what I've listened to today is insane to me. Where everybody's Alabama, hats off, you played what an awesome game, this is Nate Oates has a Final Four team this year, and it's Alabama was getting more praise for losing a game at home than Purdue was for winning the game on the road. I Matt can tell me if that's just my Alabama hate seeping in, but I saw John Rothstein earlier, said something like Nate Oates finally has all the tools to have a Final Four or like have a national championship contender in Tuscaloosa, and I was like, what? Like that was your takeaway from this game? Like that's the headline. The team that lost at home is like that's the team that's going to go win a national championship. Like how that was the takeaway, and like they were really pushing it all night too. Like Nate Oates he's got a Final Four team this year. Like this is a team, it's Final Four or bust. Like they were really pushing the Bama Final Four national championship contender narrative all night. And it's just like that was defensive effort was just fucking garbage. And like how everybody's takeaway to this game was just like applauding Alabama. Like it blew my fucking mind. And like I said, Matt is definitely the most unbiased person in the room about this game. So I'm curious to see what he has to say about everything we've said. But yeah, like hats off to Purdue because like they killed it in this game.
Yeah, I would say that there's a bit, it wasn't as bad to me as how much you saw it there, but I think I kind of understand where some of the like all hope is not lost for Bama stuff is coming from.
I don't think all hope is lost. I need to like.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a game planning perspective, Bama tried something. It is not what I would have done myself, but it did not work.
What, you wouldn't have given Braden Smith wide open threes and played drop coverage on him for 40 minutes?
Well, I think the way they saw it was they were like, if we can shut off like the assists that he's going to dish out, like they kind of had to ask themselves, like, would we rather Braden Smith kill us like scoring, or would we rather him kill us with like 15 assists or something? And they chose to kind of stay home on the shooters and everything and try and make him beat them. And he did. So it's one of those that it did not work for them that game. It's probably not something I would probably make the other shooters around him beat me before I just kind of challenge him to do it. But yeah, and I think it speaks to how much he's grown as a player over the years. I don't think Braden Smith would have been capable of having that kind of game 2 years ago, and he's perfectly capable of having that game now. So he's grown tremendously as a basketball player, and I think for on the Bama side of things, like I don't think they played well. Obviously, we've talked. The defensive strategy was poor. Not only was it poor, they got killed inside, which is where they really did not have an answer for anything Purdue was throwing at them. They didn't defend the rim well at all.
They missed Mo Diabate bad last night.
Yeah, so the paint was defended poorly. They gave up a lot of easy looks. Purdue had a lot of open shots, and when you give a team that many good looks, they'll punish you. And I mean, Bama, that's far from their best game. That's far from the best game they can play offensively. They're obviously going to need to be better if they want to compete for and really anything. Certainly the SEC is, it's within their reach probably, but that kind of performance in that Purdue game is not going to get it done. So I would say that Bama's got a long way to go. They will probably be better than they were yesterday by the end of the season, but they have a long way to go, just especially in the defensive side of things. They have a lot of stuff they need to clean up. I think offensively, they will probably point to be like, if we made some shots here and there, the game would have been different, which very well could have been. But defensively, I would say if they had a good defensive game plan, they still would not have probably won that game because they still would have given up a ton of easy looks inside. So, yeah, I think Bama's got a ways to go. I wouldn't be shocked if they, made a Final Four or won a title because, that strategy, if they're making shots, they're going to be really, really, really hard for anyone to beat. And
I'd be shocked if they won a title because I just like if they could go to a Final Four if the matchups fall the right way, but it's like I had to jump in because I was like if they go to the Final Four and play a team with bigs, like they're fucked. Like
yeah,
it's all about the matchup that they get. I mean, it's one of those things like in their minds, like, and I also think it's credit. I don't think many teams could have played Bama the way that Purdue did yesterday. Like, just because you have big guys, I don't think that's like a meal ticket to beating Bama. I think you got to have a touch of everything. Like, despite the bigs being talented for Purdue, the guards are pretty talented themselves. So it's not like not everybody can replicate what Purdue just did yesterday. I think it's a little harder than that. Like your run of the mill team with like Michigan. I don't think Michigan could beat Bama. Like, I don't think if you put them in an NCAA tournament game, like the way Michigan's looked so far, despite having a just absolute animal inside that Bama could not guard on any day of the week. I don't know. It's a hard style to keep up with if you don't have a really good all around team. So
We'll get to
I
Michigan, by the way. I just wanted to throw in, since you brought him up, like early contender for most improved player of the year, Elliot Cadeau. He looks
he's
awesome.
been much better. The team's not as good as you probably would want him to be, but I think I mean Bama's position themselves, if they play their cards right the rest of the season, they could absolutely be one of the teams left standing in an Elite Eight situation, ready to go to Final Four there. But yeah, they got a ways to go. They got a ways to go defensively, especially. They're just not, and it's all about the matchup they get. Like, their tournament matchup is going to be super important, maybe more so than any other contending team, just because of the style of basketball they play. And so we'll see. They just have a lot of stuff to figure out. And I think Purdue's kind of like, it's been a lot of the same guys. And, that's a game that anyone on that broadcast who was like surprised by the outcome, like, it was a game that Purdue should win. Like, Purdue's got way more continuity in their team. They're a better team right now than Bama is today. And that might change by the end of the season, but no, it's not the case now. So yeah, I don't find any part of that game really shocking to me. Like,
there's something from the game yesterday that I already thought this, but it was like more like confirmation for me, I guess. Like Braden Smith is going to be an NBA player. Like, he's going to there's been some talk on like whether he's because like obviously he's an undersized guard, and like there's been talk about whether he's a guy that can play at the NBA level or not. But it's like when he has an elite, like, he's obviously the best passer in the country. Like, might end up being the break Bobby Hurley's assist record at the end of the season. And like he showed last night like he can knock down shots. And it's like, to be an undersized guard in the NBA, you have to have since like if you're undersized, like, you have to have an elite skill set. You have to be able to knock down shots. You have to be an incredible playmaker. And it's like the game that Braden Smith had last night is like, this guy is going to be an NBA player, and somebody's going to get a steal on him probably in the second round of the draft. But like, that was my takeaway from like watching Braden Smith last night.
My thoughts on it are their teams are going to undervalue him, and he's going to play himself into that end of that first round, sort of become like a Peyton Pritchard type, like in the NBA. And this is your new that makes sense.
It's tough. I mean, in Braden Smith's case, like, he's not a big guard.
Mhm.
Like, most NBA prototypical guards are now like anywhere from 6'3", 6'5", that kind of build. He's on the shorter end. I mean, he's a great passer, as we've talked about. I think he's going to have an uphill climb to be drafted. I think, fair or not, I think the most recent game that he had, as far as like what NBA talent evaluators are going to be looking for, is that national championship game where Steph Castle really just like completely took him out of the game. And I think that's going to be an image that he's going to have to kind of have a really good NCAA tournament to repair his image. And he's a lot
better player than he was then.
But he's going to have to guard. I mean, that's one of the things that like you can't. It's going to be really hard to play in the NBA if you can't guard your position. So,
but he guarded an NBA guard last night, and like
he did, and he's
passed
going
the
to have
test
to show that on a consistent basis. And I think if he has if he breaks that record, And if he plays deep enough in the NCAA tournament, someone will probably use a second round draft pick on him. But as for whether he'll like play in the NBA for 10 years or something, I don't know. Remains to be seen.
By the way, we had a Draymond Green Wemby fight tonight. I did not see that. That
Yeah.
notification just came across on my. Man, what a night of basketball! Holy shit!
I was gonna say, like, it's so rare for Purdue, like any team to have a true road non-conference top 10 win, like that.
That's a huge win.
Yeah,
Like that's the kind of win that gets you the number 1 overall seed come March. Like that's a win that's going to hold up all year. Like so.
And
like
another thing, I've just looking at Purdue's schedule. It's like there's like very few nights off. There's maybe like one game left this year where we're not going to get the best shot from that team. Like even among our mid majors, like we play Akron on Sunday, like, and they are like a mid major stacked with all 5 teams, but like Matt Painter was very selective in choosing his non-conference games, so to give us tests throughout the year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the disappointment on your face in Indianapolis about a month from now.
We're running Auburn off the court.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, brother. But we'll cross that bridge, man. It's gonna be a fun week for the show when that game happens. I can't wait. All right. Anything else you guys got on Purdue, Bama? Purdue gets to win. Huge win. Awesome game. We've had a lot of awesome games this week, so we'll try to blow through. I told Matt we'll keep this thing hour and a half top, so like I'll try to speed run through some of these games. But yeah, you guys got anything else on last night?
I think we've covered it. Pretty good.
All right, let's go back to Tuesday. Louisville 96, Kentucky 88. Huge win. The revival continues for Pat Kelsey and the Cardinals. To see, like, man, like, if you're a coach like Ed Cooley, like Louisville right now is the prime example. Like, you don't get to be like, it takes a few years to turn it around anymore, because like Pat Kelsey has completely like flipped Louisville. Like they were the worst Power 5 team in the nation like 2 years ago, like not long ago. Like they were a joke, and Pat Kelsey has completely flipped the script so quick there, where it's like, I think Louisville's like I'd say right now, I don't think it's crazy. Like Louisville's a legit national championship contender. Like I'd put them firmly in that. Like the way they played against Kentucky, like they can beat anybody in the nation playing that way. And obviously, like I said it on the show on Monday night that we've talked a lot about freshmen that maybe we didn't talk enough about coming into the year, kind of stealing the headlines so far. And like I said, like there's a good chance Mikael Brown Jr. is going to be the next guy on that list. And like, damn if he wasn't. 29 points for him, 24 points for Ryan Conwell. Louisville looked awesome in this game, and Kentucky like hung around. They battled back from 20 down multiple times in this game. Kentucky hung around, but Louisville gets the job done. What a huge win! Like, if people underscore, like if you're not a diehard college basketball fan, how big that rivalry is in the state of Kentucky. But that is like genuinely like one of the best rivalries in the sport, and probably in all sports, is Louisville, Kentucky. And I know the Cardinal fans have been going around and pounding their chest and telling all their family members Kentucky sucks all week, and having a great time with that. But that was an awesome game. I had it pulled up on my phone, like I was at the Auburn Wofford game and was watching that Louisville Kentucky game on my phone, because it was such a good game. I was like, I have to watch. I don't care that I'm at a game right now, but I wanted to watch that game so bad. Awesome win for Pat Kelsey and his program, and yeah, Mikael Brown Jr. has arrived, and like just another takeaway of wow, this freshman class is outstanding. So yeah, whoever wants to go first on this one, but big win for the Cardinals, and yeah.
I guess
Louisville. Oh yeah,
Oh,
please go.
I
Go
was gonna
ahead
say
because I gotta change this channel anyway.
it was a big time statement win for Louisville at home. Just kind of winning that rivalry game. This is one of the first wins where I'd say Pat Kelsey is defining his coaching career here at Louisville. Just coming out the gate strong with that portal class that they picked up in the offseason. Kentucky had their portal class. I'd say Louisville's was better comparatively, I'd say. But
I mean,
yeah,
you
what
saw
a
Mark
great
Pope's
game.
comments tonight.
Yeah.
Like, kind of gave it away for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Denzel Aberdeen was awesome in this game too.
Mhm.
Like, one of my big takeaways this week watching that game and watching Florida struggle with Florida State, watching what happened with Alabama and Purdue last night, watching Kentucky on Tuesday is wow. Kentucky got two players from SEC contenders that those fellow SEC contenders could really use back right now because Florida's guard play is just not where it needs to be, and they don't have the shot makers that they had on last year's team. And like they damn near lost at home to Florida State, and then Alabama really could have used Mo Diabate last night, and both of those guys are in. And Denzel Aberdeen is obviously who I'm speaking about for Florida. He had 26 points in this game. Um, that's big in the SEC. That Kentucky has two guys that they got from SEC rivals. That those SEC rivals are really probably sitting there being like, "Damn, I wish I had this guy back right now."
Yeah, that's I mean, for one, Louisville definitely can win a title. I mean, just their start to the season. I don't know how many of you have looked at their scores, but it's one like they're just
Throttling.
unstoppable offensively. And you kind of were like, yeah, well, let's see it when they play a real opponent, kind of thing. They did not skip a beat. They easily would have put up 100 if they could make a fucking free throw down the stretch of that game.
Oh my God. Yeah, the eight
Yeah,
straight free throws
yeah,
missed was
like
crazy. They were doing
just
everything in their power
yes.
to keep Kentucky in that game. And like Kentucky almost covered for
I'm
the
like,
like
what
because
are we
Louisville could not
doing?
make a free throw.
Like, I was like, this is obnoxious how many they were missing. So yeah, they easily would have put up 100 points on them if they could make one of those. Yeah, it's just the guard play is awesome. I love offensively. Everything they run is just the ball's moving. It's really hard to guard. And yeah, they're just going to, I mean, if they're going to score on people on that clip, they're going to be really, really hard to beat. And I think as far as, Kentucky goes, I've been known to defend Coach Cal publicly.
And not like
I
Mark Pope.
Yeah, I don't not like Mark Pope, but I'm curious how the fan sentiment is amongst the Kentucky fans. Where like, as you mentioned, like Louisville just like overnight now just built this national title contender, and Kentucky could be that maybe, but like you get beat that way, by a huge rival that you have not really gotten beat by in years. And I wonder if there's a bit of frustration on the end of Kentucky fans. Not, that they made the wrong decision at head coach necessarily, but like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, we are now getting whooped by this team where, we have more resources than Louisville, and no reason we should be losing out on recruits or losing out on portal guys, or just that Louisville objectively has built a better roster today than Kentucky has. I think Kentucky literally just was like shopping on the portal market, and they're like, that guy's good. Just bring him in. It's just like, he's the highest rated guy in the portal. Let's just bring him in here. Like, I feel as if Louisville really kind of methodically built up that roster.
Well, and
And
you gotta factor in saying that Kentucky still doesn't have Jaden Quaintance, who's probably going to be the
yeah,
best player on this team when
yeah.
he's healthy.
So it's kind of like, I don't know what to really make of that yet. But yeah, I that's super, super promising for Louisville. Just that the offensive production really did not dip in playing a better team, that's a great sign for them. So I was kind of like, I knew Louisville was going to be good going into the season. I wasn't ready to place them on that like national contending tier. But that definitely is a step in the right direction for them for sure. So yeah, they're going to be a force all season, and I'm interested to see how these teams adjust to them in conference play because of just how efficient and how good they are offensively. How some of these teams are going to adjust. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and yeah, I think Louisville's definitely a contender. It's hard to say they're not after that performance.
Um, where so it's just like did we just screw up not up with another freshman that like I said we spent so much time talking about the big three and didn't talk a lot about Mikal Brown Jr. and yeah he was awesome in this one. So did we just like I mean, I don't even know what I'm getting. Like, I mean, I know what I'm getting at, but I don't even know how to like frame what I'm setting up. But it's just like this freshman class is incredible, and it's just like every show we've come on here and talked so far, there's been another freshman where I'm like, wow, like we did a like 2.5 hour preview show and like barely mentioned this guy's name, and he's one of the best like I think the national freshman of the year race is a lot more wide open than we thought it was coming into the year. And Mikal Brown Jr. is just another guy to add to that list who has now easily inserted himself into that category as one of the best freshmen in the country.
I mean, the answer is no. Like, we definitely, like, no one would miss per se. Like, I mean, the difference is that, like,
What
Mikal
is
Brown is a
happening?
supple. Yeah, Ty and Grant Foster was like either, that was very weird. But no, definitely not. Like, Mikal Brown is a supplemental piece on a great, great team. Like, the team is not built around him. He might be the best player on the team, but the team is not built entirely around him. Like, that Duke team is going to go as far as, the boozers take them, or in this case, one boozer. Kansas is built entirely, it seems, around Peterson and yeah, Caleb Wilson's got a huge role. Koa Pete is really the heart and soul and the best player on that Arizona team. So I think, and Devanza with BYU, everything's gonna like run through him and Rob Wright, and I think
Caleb
it's
Wilson.
yeah, like it's not the same. Mikal Brown's in a much better situation than some of those guys are in. Like Mikal Brown's on a very, very good, well coached, deep offensive unit that can pick up the slack if he's not like throwing 100 miles an hour that night or something. And I think he's in a much better spot than some of those other guys are, because some of those other guys are in a situation where the team will live and die based on how they play. I don't think Mikal Brown's in that situation. And yeah, he's just as good as those other guys at the college level. I think his NBA prospects are promising, and they're just not the same as what some of those other guys are. That's the only reason that he's probably not getting the attention and the hype that those guys are. And it has been years. Like, it's been, gosh, like, I don't know how many years you would all say that Louisville has been in the national spotlight for basketball. Like, it's been maybe 10 years since they've really been relevant in the sport. So, all that combined, I think, it makes for Mikal Brown kind of flying under the radar some.
Yeah, ever since Pitino had the scandal, like that's when Louisville kind of fell off significantly, and then once that started, that kind of like was a death spiral for the program. And then Chris Mack during COVID, that was a disaster. And then Kenny Payne was like dumpster fire level.
I mean, it's been since Donovan Mitchell that
yeah.
they like what was that the last great what year was Mitchell there?
That was 9 years ago.
Yeah, that's probably the last time they were nationally relevant.
Because
Yeah,
I think
I would say.
because I remember Purdue played Louisville in the ACC Big Ten ACC Challenge, like the year I think it was Mitchell's year. We played them a couple years in a row, but I remember like people were wearing like FBI uniforms in the crowd in the student section.
Yeah, great win for Louisville here. We tossed the rock around a little bit to some of these other. Oh, Matt, we talked about UCLA, Arizona at the top. Like, you think we about covered that one? Like, did you have anything else on that one that we didn't talk about? Or
No, gritty win for Arizona that I did not know that they were capable of playing that kind of basketball. And yeah, Pete, the real deal. Just
Arizona
continues to impress every game.
and Jaden Bradley was awesome in this game, and
Yeah.
Arizona becomes the first team this season with 2 top 25 wins now. So early on, but something of note there. And yeah, UCLA is like, yeah, I'd like Donovan Dent just has not opened up this UCLA offense in the manner that we thought he was going to. And yeah, I'm sure Mick Cronin's gonna have some hilarious quotes coming out of this game. So
Yeah, UCLA struggled so far. I didn't watch much of this game because I passed out, but
we know.
yeah, UCLA the first 3 games has kind of not looked like great. Arizona good win. They didn't really have the offensive performances like they had the rest of the season, but I mean, a win is a win still. Grinding one out like that. And Donovan Dent, like you mentioned, Donovan Dent, like that's kind of the warning if you have a pay a portal player all this money, it's the big fear that they don't turn out to be like the all-star you were expecting.
I think
and
it's a
maybe
little early to put that
yeah,
on him, but
if he keeps playing like this,
definitely has not been what they
yeah,
expected him to
yeah.
be so far. But yeah, I'm not ready to completely toss him to the side yet. Like Mick Cronin's a good coach. I'm sure they'll figure some of this stuff out. But
Yeah.
All right, we'll go back to Tuesday. Illinois 81, Texas Tech 77. I did not get to watch a lot of this game. I'll kind of toss this one to you guys more to talk about because I was at the Auburn game. I didn't get to. I don't think I got to see like a second of this game, to be honest. But oh my god. But Stojakovic was awesome in this game. Kylan Boswell was awesome in this game. JT Top, like this was like the stars went off of this game. Like JT Toppin had 35 points. Illinois had no answer defensively for him, but they were able to hold on and win this one. Stojakovic comes off the bench and gets 23. Kylan Boswell had 22. Yeah, I'm just box score reading off this game because I didn't get to watch a lot of it. But big win for Illinois, 81-77. Whoever wants to take this one can go ahead.
I mean, this is kind of what you'd expect from a Texas Tech versus Illinois matchup. I mean, it's Texas Tech played through their star, JT Toppin. LeJon Watts had 21 points.
LeJon?
And then Illinois. Yeah. Is that it? I'm not sure.
It's Juan. Get some
Juan?
culture, Jacob.
Oh, yeah. I've not heard his name pronounced before, but JT Toppin and Watts, they both carried Texas Tech offensively. The rest of the team didn't really have that great of a shooting performance, but Illinois played their typical chaos, that chaos ball, just where they push the tempo. You have 23 points from Stojakovic, who's going to prove to be a real star in Big Ten play. Colin Boswell had a great game, 22 points. Just that typical Illinois offense. So that's a huge win for Illinois this early. So they'll be definitely a top 3 team in Big Ten play.
Yeah, Illinois that was a game that they definitely don't win last year, and they're definitely a tougher team this year. Offensively, they just have more ways to score. They're deeper offensively. I do think that this was not Texas Tech's best game, despite the outburst by Toppin. I do think that the more they kind of gel defensively, it will be a better Texas Tech team. They hang their hat on defense. Defensively, they were poor. They were not good defensively. And give Illinois credit, they ran some great stuff, and Texas Tech just, didn't defend well enough to win. And I would be shocked if that were the case by the end of the season, if Texas Tech was not defending better than this. But that version of JT Toppin is going to take Texas Tech really far. And I am curious if that version of JT Toppin kind of surprised Texas Tech to the point where they did not know that they were just going to be able to go to him every time to get a bucket. And I wonder how that matchup, if they played again tomorrow, one, how Illinois would try to defend him, and two, if Texas Tech would be a little more deliberate about what they were going to do on offense in terms of trying to get him the ball. So, yeah, I do think Texas Tech is going to need a significant boost in the supporting cast. But, yeah, it's exciting if you're Illinois. I don't think Illinois played a great defensive game themselves. They let JT Toppin go for 35, and they, it still didn't really matter to them. So, yeah, it's exciting for Illinois. We knew they were going to be good. I did not think that was a game they were going to win. Going into the season, I thought Texas Tech would beat them. But, yeah, give them credit. Illinois, they have grown men on their team. Like, just no doubt about it. They have grown, experienced basketball players on that team, and that potentially could take them pretty far, especially in conference play. They are much closer to a finished product than I thought they were going to be coming into the season. So good sign for them.
All right, let's we'll kind of put 2 games in one because I feel like the story can relate to both games. But Michigan, Michigan. So we got 2. Michigan gets a 85-84 overtime win in Detroit against Wake Forest. Goes on the road, survives against TCU today. What was the final of that one? I'll pull it
They
up.
won by 4.
Yeah, it was
4 points.
I'm let me get the 67-63 was the final. But Michigan has, for a team that came in the year with a lot of hype and national championship aspirations, Michigan does not look like that team right now. Yaxel Lindeborg, who's going to be a lottery pick probably, was billed as top transfer in the country, has not looked the part so far. Elliot Cadeau, who I gave credit earlier, he was awesome on Tuesday. He was not awesome tonight. So we'll see. I mean, he was another top transfer for them, but it's head scratching for Michigan so far. They have not looked like the team in either of those games this week that people expected them to be coming into the year. So we know they have the talent to figure it out. We know Dusty May is a great coach and they can figure it out. But they, you have to be scratching your head wondering what's went. I mean, they've won these games, so I mean, that's what you expect. Like, cool, you get out with a win, avert disaster. That's fine, but like, I know Michigan and Dusty May and their fans, like they certainly, after both games this week, are probably not walking away like with their chests poked out exactly after these 2 games. So Michigan has problems. Yaxel has just not been very good, but it is so early in the season. But yeah, Michigan is the topic is Michigan. So, either of those games, whatever you want to bring up, that's where we'll jump off, Matt.
Well, it's fun to see that Michigan is still annoyingly good closing out these close games that in some
Yes.
cases they should not be winning. They were that way last year, and it seems that they are picking up right where they left off. And yeah, it's crazy that they're still this good in close games, but yeah, there's some concerns. It's a different offense entirely for Michigan. Danny Wolf did quite a bit for that team last year, initiating the offense while being the biggest guy on the floor. That's not really what Yaxel does. Yaxel's not the point forward type. It puts a little more pressure on the guards. You're gonna have to get him the ball at a much higher rate. So it's different. It's a different offense.
And it's like he was fine tonight, but like Cadeau did a good job of that on Tuesday, but they're just like he's just not making like that Wake Forest game is like he had plenty of easy looks that he just wasn't knocking down against Wake Forest. He was 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3 with 9 points. Like Cadeau was really like the guy in that game for them against Wake Forest. And then tonight, like Yaxel was a lot better, but like he still didn't he never took over the game tonight, like in the manner you expected him to, and frankly in the manner like with how much they're paying him that they expect him to.
Yeah, I mean they'll get there eventually. I think it's they're too well coached and they're too good down the stretching games. They execute too well not to be better than what they are now. Especially Yaxel on an individual level. They'll find a way to help him be more effective. But yeah, all things considered, Michigan's not there yet, and they do not, as you said, seem to be the part of a team that is a top 10 kind of team that people were kind of picking as kind of a fun, not Purdue pick to win the Big Ten. If it wasn't going to be Purdue, who would you pick? Everyone would kind of lean into picking Michigan. So, yeah, I think Michigan will get there. Their flaws are fixable. Defensively, in that Wake Forest game, they were just shockingly bad. They are going to have to address some issues on that end of the floor. But yeah, they're getting great play out of Cadeau. Today he was not ideal. And Yaxel's too good not to play up to his standard. So I think they'll get that fixed eventually. But yeah, it's crazy. I think that some other teams would have dropped either that Wake game or the TCU game, and they won both of them. So give them credit there. They are still really good later on in games, and they'll be a tough team to kill for someone at the end of the day.
I know Michigan just kind of they found a way to win in both those games. I'd say on Tuesday, Wake Forest just kind of collapsed right there at the end. They had a 7-point lead and just kind of gave the game to Michigan with a silly foul. And typical, like you said, the last 2 years, Michigan's backed sideways into a lot of wins. That was the case with Wake Forest. And then tonight, TCU led a lot of the ways and just kind of fell asleep, even though Michigan didn't even really play that great. Yaxel's not – I wouldn't say he's an impact big man on the level of Danny Wolf or even Vlad Golden. He's just kind of a guy, a guy that'll be consistent and make smart plays, but he's not really – I wouldn't say he's an elite level scorer or anything, at least not yet. And Michigan doesn't have elite guard play this year to cover for that, they just don't have that elite shooter that can light it up at any moment. So Adea Mara is not there either. So
Did you guys happen to see the Elliot Cadeau play that he fouled Spillers out on, where it's like he he's like it was like I didn't know if you guys even like where he was like pushing off and
Mhm.
Cadeau like grabbed his arm to make it look like he fell over and just like went like uh he went like both arms around it and then flops to make it look like a
Oh
push off
yeah,
to
I
foul him
did.
out. Like
That was so stupid. That was just
that
typical
was
Michigan
schoolyard
shit.
shit right there.
Yeah, typical Michigan shit. Flopping.
Yeah, I thought that was funny, worth mentioning. But yeah, that man for Wake and for TCU for teams that are probably going to be hanging right around the tournament bubble come time. Like definitely Wake because they are every year, and we'll see what TCU is this year. But this backbreaking losses that if you're Wake and it's like they just like the last couple years it's been the same story where they've been right there on the bubble and haven't had the quad one wins to stand up in those resume comparisons, and this would have just been a monumental win that would have stood up all year. um a big ticket for them to have in their pocket, and neither neither team able to close the deal against Michigan and get a big non-conference win, but just tough losses for both of those teams.
Yeah, I'd say Wake is a lot better team than TCU. TCU's kind of like, I'm not really sure where they fall, but they had that horrific loss to New Orleans. But maybe New Orleans is good, but TCU, I I don't know if that was a more so Michigan just struggling or TCU having something there. So I don't know. I could definitely see Wake being a tourney team, but yeah, just a terrible collapse by them.
New
But
Orleans beat the fucking brakes off
yeah,
Tulane tonight,
yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
So
I saw
like,
that. I
might
saw that.
actually be a decent
Yeah, that's.
mid-major team.
I was.
Like,
I was gonna say.
Matt, anything else on TCU, Wake Forest, or anything from the Michigan stories from the week?
I do think that that TCU win is probably going to age pretty well. I think TCU could be a half decent team in the Big 12 this year. So I think that win on the road is going to probably age a little better than the way we think about it right now.
I mean, it'll
But
be a quad. Yeah, definitely like a quad two win at
yeah,
worst. Could be a
so
quad one.
yeah, so we might be back in like a month from now saying like maybe we a bit overreacted on Michigan because Wake Forest and TCU ended up being pretty good. So we'll see.
Let's see. Any other let me run through the week. Figure out what to mention. You guys can jump in if you want to. See if there's anything noteworthy.
Florida. Florida
Yeah.
snuck by Florida State.
Yeah, I alluded to that one a little bit earlier, but yeah, I didn't get to watch a ton of that one or any of it really, but yeah, like Florida has issues. Like they do not have the guards they had on last year's national championship team, obviously, and yeah, if you're gonna play that style of offense, you need guards who can knock down shots, and they don't have it right now. They could really use Denzel Aberdeen from Kentucky. Like I said, that was one of my big takeaways from the week.
Yeah, Florida is missing Walter Clayton. That is the biggest thing. Florida has some good guards, but they do not have the like get on my back. We are going to win this game type of guard.
And they love to run like that, like dribble handoff stuff, like I mentioned on the last show. And it's like if you're gonna run that, like you need a guard who can create and make those circus shots, and they just don't have that right now. And it's like if that's the case, then you have to adjust your offense and just realize like you don't have Walter Clayton Jr. on your team, and you can't just run dribble handoff every time you get down the court and expect Boogie Flan to knock down the shots that Walter Clayton was knocking down.
Yeah, I mean Florida will be they'll be fine. It took them. I mean, they really came onto the scene pretty late last year, and that was when they really started their ascension. Probably halfway through conference play after they won at Auburn. So they usually feel out what they have. It takes them a while to get settled in to their team. Obviously, to this point, they haven't been good enough. Just point blank, period. But yeah, we'll see. I feel as if they've kind of earned the benefit of the doubt, especially after last year. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not overly ready to hit any kind of panic button with them yet. But we'll see. That might change.
One game I wanted to mention from the week, blowout, but the Coach K. I'm not a Coach K fan, but the Coach K at Army stuff was pretty cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah, that was a cool game. Like, that's awesome that Duke went up there to do that.
On Veterans Day.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was actually, I guess I was watching a show earlier this week. Apparently Coach K scheduled that, or no, Duke scheduled that years ago. And and that was supposed to be the first game of the season, but then with the schedule moving up, it ended up being the third or fourth. But yeah, I guess this was planned out years ago. But that was really cool. And shout out to John Shire for going up there and doing that. And Duke obviously took care of business in that game. But I don't know. That's one who really cares about the result of the game. That was cool. Let's see. I'm trying to. Matt, Cal, Arkansas, barely survived the Bucky McMillan-less Samford Bulldogs tonight. Any concern for the Hogs? I did not get to see that game, so I don't know what made it that close and what's up with Arkansas right now. But as our resident Cal fan,
they were very good earlier in the week. They were playing very well and kind of mowing everyone down. They were having no real hiccups with the bye games. And then the Samford game happened, and that was not an ideal showing. But yeah, they're one that the talent, those guards are going to figure it out. So they'll need some time. Obviously, you would hope that they just absolutely take a battle axe to Samford and not struggle with them. But yeah, it's hard to defend what was not a great performance from Arkansas that day.
Shout out Lenny Acuff, former Alabama Huntsville coach, came over from Lipscomb. Tough. Gave Arkansas a tough game.
Any other? I wanted to give a shout out on one game in particular. Shout out to Alabama State, goes on the road, gets a big win at UAB. And then UAB turned around and beat a very good High Point team tonight. But yeah, that was a huge win for Alabama State as a program. We know it's tough for those HBCUs, and they have to schedule a ton of these bye games and go and get the break speed off of them. And Alabama State was able to walk away from one of those with a W and go up to Birmingham and leave there with a win. So huge win for them. Definitely wanted to make mention of that. Another game to mention from earlier in the week, Ole Miss beat Memphis. Memphis was able to keep it close, but big rivalry there. And we'll see what Memphis is this week, but obviously we know Penny's got some pressure on him there, and you got about 100 times of the budget in Memphis basketball that everybody else in that league does. So you better run away from that league and not have any problems, or there's going to be people pointing some fingers at Penny. So yeah, they go on the road at Ole Miss. Not a bad loss or anything, but just something to keep an eye on from that one. Any other games during the week that I have not brought up that I should bring up?
Gonzaga destroyed Creighton.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
They massacred them.
Yeah, that was a destruction. And they're playing a pretty close game against Arizona State right now as we speak. But
Yeah.
yeah, they throttled Creighton. I mean, obviously, Creighton, you lose the 4-time reigning defensive player of the year in Kalkbrenner. And that was probably a bigger loss than because I mean everybody just assumed like Greg McDermott, Creighton, like they'll be fine, they'll figure it out. Might not be as sure of a thing as everybody thought because they got smoked in that one. I could not believe did not expect that one to be the destruction that it was. And Arizona State is hanging with Gonzaga right now.
Creighton has a lot of things to figure out. Gonzaga just kind of Gonzaga balled Creighton.
This is probably the best team Few has had since the
Chet Holmgren's year for sure.
Yeah, like I was thinking of is that 2022? I believe that was. But yeah, probably the best team McDermott's had since that team. Like Gonzaga's got a really good team this year, and they're going to be back. They're not going to be on the 8-9 line again this year.
They will not.
As Kevin Keats told us, it's about time we start thinking about Gonzaga in the way we think of high major programs.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. I think now is the time. Not the last 2 national championships. Like, no. Like, now.
Yeah.
Or 8 straight Sweet 16s or whatever it was. Oh, now. Anything else from the week?
I do have a few mentions from Thursday night. The last game of the night, there was a super crazy score. Kansas State beats California 99-96. Super high scoring game, kind of like that Providence Virginia Tech game, almost. And then a mid-major team to watch, Wichita State. They've looked great so far. They may give Memphis a run for their money in the American. And then a funny score. Western Carolina beats Jason Voorhees 95-4. I had to just mention that one because it was a funny name school.
Is this a real school?
Yeah, I saw this. I was like, what? I didn't know if it was a real school or not. Voorhees University. Located in Denmark, South Carolina.
Oh. All right.
NAIA school. It's a historically black college.
Well, moving into the weekend, games to look forward to. Obviously, we'll start tomorrow. Biggest game of the weekend is in the Garden. We got AJ DeBansta heading back home, which, by the way, of note, Kennard Davis, who's a starter for BYU, was arrested for DUI at like 10 o'clock in the morning, which is insane, but that's wild.
I mean, seriously, that is just the beginning of his crimes. What he will be pressed on harder is where he got the foreign substance that he got drunk enough on, because like in Utah, it is banned. You cannot, alcohol must be limited, I think, to 4%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder where he smuggled.
Have you ever been to Utah? Drank the piss beer that you had to buy? Like I've been to Utah before. It's like you got to drink like fucking 7 beers to start feeling anything.
But it's a serious crime for people who smuggle in contraband, as basically what it is. Like any hard liquor or any real actual beers. Yeah, you're going down for it.
And I imagine getting a DUI is probably not in the honor code.
I would say it's not. Yeah.
So I mean, last time we had an honor code was Brandon Davies, and we know how that ended up. So I seem to guess that we probably won't see Kennard Davis playing for BYU anymore. Because they don't play around about that shit
I
there.
mean, we saw it in football with
Retzlaff,
Retzlaff, yeah.
Yeah. True.
So
I forgot about that one. But
was it him drinking or was it like
no.
prescription drugs?
No.
You're saying for
read-
Davies?
No.
Or for
Kennard Davis.
Retzlaff?
No,
Yeah.
Kennard.
Oh, you're saying for the DUI.
Yeah, for the DUI.
I thought you were saying for Retzlaff.
No. I know what Retzlaff was for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what? I mean, it was like, it happened, like, he hit somebody, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Somebody said, I read that he was like given pain medicine or something by the team.
Just a Tiger Woods?
He was like, yeah. He was driving under the influence of like prescription drugs or something.
Yeah.
Is what I saw. I don't know if it was actually alcohol or not.
I mean, if it was alcohol, like, that's insane to be like boozing at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Like,
yeah.
Unless it was a night before situation.
Yeah.
By the way, I love, like, we're on the subject of BYU, that, like, I saw a tweet earlier this week. I sent it to you guys. H.A. DeBansta is enrolled in 3 classes at BYU, and one of them is mission prep. Like, I bet H.A. DeBansta is taking mission prep class real serious.
Seems legit. Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing, man? H.A. DeBansta, like, potential NBA number 1 overall pick, is taking mission prep. But okay. Anyway, basketball. BYU, UConn. Matt, you're our UConn guy. Let me get the pulse of Husky Nation going into this game.
Well, the vibes are high. The vibes are high because they absolutely made no qualms about it that they were going to be relentless in their bye games, and Dan Hurley's already in midseason form. The guard play is strong, the interior play is strong, the wing play looks good, so they are not favored against BYU. So
no, they are.
What's that?
They are.
Really?
UConn's 5.5 point favorite.
I must have read that wrong. But yes, so UConn's 5.5, because I was going to say, I was like, that makes no fucking sense. But yeah, they should beat BYU, cover that spread. That's just a game that those programs are heading in opposite directions by the looks of it. BYU looked awful the other night. They needed like a second half surge of sorts to win the other night, and yeah, it's going to be, I would expect it's going to be the DeBansta show and the Rob Wright show. And if UConn can take one of those guys out of the game, they should be in pretty good shape. But yeah, it's a fun matchup. I mean, UConn's going to try and slow the pace down a little more. BYU is going to try to obviously do the very opposite of that. But yeah, the vibes are high for UConn. The expectations are high. So yeah, I would assume that it's going to be a very pro UConn crowd, and they, in my opinion, should not really struggle with BYU. I think DeBansta is going to have a couple like highlight reel plays, but outside of that, it would be a really impressive win for BYU to go on basically on the road and win that game. Based on
how do they guard DeBansta here? Like is Caravan going to step out and guard him?
Always been they'll probably Jalen Stewart's probably going to be who they have defend him, because he physically matches up the best when he's really long, very athletic. Offensively, I don't know if they want to like wear out Caravan by having him work that hard on the defensive end. They did that a lot last year, and it cost them in some games that they were not great in down the stretch. So I think that that'll be Jalen Stewart's assignment probably. And then, we'll see. Caravan's a super versatile defender. Caravan probably DeBansta is just more of like an athletic force. I think that Caravan's probably better defending skill, defending finesse, that kind of thing. So yeah, Jalen Stewart will probably get the assignment to guard him, I would imagine, just because athletically those two match up really, really similarly. And yeah, I still think Rob Wright's the most dangerous of all the BYU players. He is, just as a guard, just super experienced in how he plays. Just does not make a ton of mistakes. Can score. Sets up teammates well. So he's the one that I would assume they try and focus in on the most. Because I don't know, like they still have the advantage of playing BYU pretty early on, where Devance's like not really settled in yet. So I think there are going to be a lot of teams who, during Big 12 play, are going to see a much different version of him that UConn's going to see tomorrow. So we'll see.
So you're taking UConn here.
Yeah.
Jacob,
if the game were like in Utah, if it were in Salt Lake, I feel maybe that's a different type of ordeal. But yeah, I'll take UConn. That's a long way to go, and BYU just still is trying to figure out their identity. Obviously, they'll have guys out. There will be establishments with alcohol that they could go to the night before the game. Who knows? So, yeah.
AJ DeBan's still getting turned up at the club.
Yeah. Who
and
knows?
he's from Boston too.
Yeah. He's from Brockton, so he's he's a local guy. I don't know if you guys saw the comment that like Yegor Demon said about like how it's so much different from like living in Utah to then now playing for the Nets, that he's like, it is two different worlds. Like I am not used to this. So tough one for Yegor there. And he plays for the Nets, which is the worst part about it for all of them. But yeah, I think that's a game that UConn probably wins tomorrow. So that'll be my expectation. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll go UConn. I don't think BYU has the defense to stop UConn's offense.
I've been on a card binge, by the way, and I was on Whatnot a lot. Got a giveaway. I got the Yegor Demon rookie card right there.
There you go. Buy a new car with that for how much that'll sell for.
Yeah, like probably $1 or $2.
If that, yeah.
There's a reason it was a giveaway card. But yeah, I think UConn and the over is the play here. It's 153.5. I think that should hit. Yeah, I think I like a quasi home game for UConn. Like we know they have fans all over the New England region, and they're probably going to be in the Garden and be loud tomorrow night. So that's going to be an awesome game, though. I am looking forward to it. But yeah, I will take UConn with the points and the over here. And Jacob's on UConn too. All right. Next biggest game of the weekend's game I will be at Sunday. We got Auburn taking on Houston at Legacy Arena in Birmingham. I don't think there's an official line out for this game yet, but Ken Pom had it as Houston -5 going into this one. But yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, it's Stephen Pearl's like first big test as a head coach. Obviously, like they survived the Bethune-Cookman game night one, and since that, like they've taken care of business and haven't had any more of those struggles. The defense has looked so much better than it looked in that game. Like the defense has been awesome. Like I was at the game Tuesday. Like they played tough on Tuesday. Like they were chasing every rebound, defending well. Like even when they were up big, like Steven wasn't taking any shit and was calling timeouts to get in their ass and get them fired up and pause. But get at them and make sure they're playing good defense. And it's already been a huge improvement. Like in the first week of the season from what we looked like versus Bethune-Cookman to what we looked like in the 2 games since then. It's been promising. So I'm excited for that. But obviously, like, you're going to find out when you play Houston, you play Kelvin Sampson's Cougars, because, like, you better. I said earlier this week, I was talking to them. I don't know how I came up with this term, but I was like, you better pack your fucking nutsack when you're playing them, because, like, it's going to be a
Yeah,
dogfight.
it's just
Like
absolute intensity for like 40
yeah, like,
minutes.
you're gonna have to be fucking tough, and yeah, I mean, I think that's why, like, you saw Steven, like, emphasizing a lot on defense in the game against Wofford Tuesday, and even up big, like, calling timeouts and getting after them, and, like, making sure they played all 40 minutes, because that's what it's going to take against Houston. And I loved seeing that from Steven. Like, he knows what's on the horizon, so, like, just because you're up big versus Wofford, like, the standard's standard. He made sure they played tough until the end. But yeah, like, we're really going to find out, like, what this team's made of. Like, there's no better barometer to in the country than the Houston Cougars to find out, like, what your team's made of. Because, like, if you're on that weak shit, that's going to get exposed against Houston. Like, they're going to make, like, so, like, you better fucking be tough and show up ready to play against them. And yeah, like, this is the first game where, like, Steven's really going to be tested, like, as a coach, and have to make adjustments and make calls and, like, be in a close game. Like, he's been in a close game, but you know what I mean? Like, playing, like, a really great opponent, and, like, you're going into this as the underdog. Like, I'm excited. We're going to find out a lot in this game about, where Steven's at as a coach and what this Auburn team's made of. And I think one of the biggest stories going into this game too is you have two guards that could have gone to the NBA last year that came back to school for another year, who are struggling out of the gate, with Milos Uzan and with Todd Pettiford. Like, they've both really, really struggled so far this year. Todd's averaging 11 points a game. Uzan's averaging, I think, 8 points a game. They're both shooting at under 30%. Like, they've both came into this year expecting to be, like, the stars of their team, and haven't been that so far. Instead, it's been Sharp for Houston, and it's been Keyshawn Hall for Auburn. So yeah, like, a lot to figure out about, both of those guys and where they're at, and is this going to be the game either of them turn it around, and a lot to figure out for Auburn, and just where Steven's at as a coach, and where the program's at in their first big test without Bruce Pearl. But yeah, I'll be up there in Birmingham Sunday for this one. I can't wait. Yeah, what do you guys think about this one?
I mean, I think it's going to be another grind out game, like where just a gritty game overall. I think Auburn gives Houston a game, but I think Houston pulls away logically. I think Houston ends up winning the game by just a little bit. I hope Auburn wins, but I think Houston just is more experienced as a team right now. So yeah, I think it's going to be a close game either way, but Houston pulls out the win in a close one.
I'll say Houston probably wins around, like, by 15-ish, maybe.
15?
15.
15? Did I hear you right?
Yeah, I think
The
Houston beats them by, like,
disrespect.
15 points. Well, I don't think it's not to be disrespectful. It's just, like, I think Houston just knows what they are, and I think they are super clear on what their identity is and how they're going to play, and it's not a game that I would say, like, you need more than just your guards to show up against Houston. I think it's going to be really demanding of the Auburn front court and the Auburn wings to show up, because they are not going to allow Todd Pettiford to just go
Well, luckily,
crazy
our
on him or
best player
anything.
so far this year has been not our guards. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I just think Houston kind of knows what they are, and
I
I
mean,
think early
Elijah
in the
Freeman and Keyshawn Hall have been our best players so far this
yeah,
season. So
that's true. I mean, I just think early on in the season, like, most of these teams that are winning, like Gonzaga's crushing teams because they're, like, older. They know what they are. They're deep teams. They're experience-laden teams. We talk about Purdue going to Alabama. It's the same kind of makeup of their team, how they're playing. I think that's just kind of the timing of the game, I think, is the reason, for why I feel that game might go the way it will. So we'll see. I could very well be wrong. I don't, I wouldn't be shocked if that game were like wire to wire and it was very close. And I wouldn't be shocked if Houston kind of ran away with it on them. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think Houston at this point in the season, as early as it is, just the situation favors them more in this scenario. If this game were played 2 months from now, I think it might be different. But today, I think Houston just kind of knows who they are right now, and that'll be enough to elevate them over that Auburn team for Sunday. So we'll see.
Well, I think Houston wins a close one here, and I'll put my bias aside and say that. But yeah, I don't think we're getting beat by 15. I think we're a better team than that. I think you might still be thinking a lot about that opening night Auburn team you saw,
Yes.
and I think that was the outlier more than that was representative of what Auburn is as a team. I don't know. I think we're a little bit better of a team right now than you're giving us credit for. But so I
That
mean, I
might be
think,
the case, yeah.
but I
That's why
think
they play the game. So
that Ken Palm line -5, if that's the actual line, I'll take Houston to win, but I'll take Auburn to cover that. I think this is a one possession game, and yeah, in those late game situations, you
so
trust Kelvin Sam.
why would Houston beat it? I'm just curious, if it's going to be that close, why do you think it'll be that close? And then, if it's that close, why is it's got to be Houston type of thing?
Well, we have been a lot tougher on defense than what we've shown or what we showed opening night versus the last two games, and it's I think this we have a big tough physical team that isn't going to be scared of Houston, and I don't think because you have to be tough to go toe to toe with them and their style, and I think we can do that, and I think Pettiford's going to play a lot better. I mean, you saw what happened when we played Houston last year. That was one Todd Pettiford's second game as a college basketball player, and he was able to take over that game and won that game for us. So I think Houston still has question marks coming into this game because Uzan has not been good so far this year, and it's they have not been tested yet, and it's when it gets in a late game situation and it's close and who's that guy for Houston that's going to knock down those shots? Is Uzan going to figure it out Sunday? Is Pettiford? I think that might be your answer of who wins this game is which one of those guards that's supposed to lead lead their team is able to figure it out on Sunday, and that could very well be where your winner comes from. But the way Elijah Freeman's been playing and the way Keyshawn Hall's been playing, you said it's going to have to come from the wings for Auburn, and Keyshawn Hall's been fucking incredible in these games so far, and he's a tough ass player. He played against Houston in the Big 12 last year, so he knows their style, and he's been in these games with them, obviously with an inferior team than what he has around them at Auburn. But yeah, I think we have the guys and the toughness to be able to go toe to toe with Houston. And then the reason you asked why I give Houston the edge is well, I think in a late game, one possession game situation, it's you kind of have to give the benefit of the doubt to Kelvin Sampson more than you have to give to Stephen Pearl right now, and that's why I think Houston will win a close one. But I think without a doubt, we have the team and the talent and the toughness to be able to keep this one close, and it'll basically be a home crowd for Auburn and Birmingham. Like the Auburn family travels well, and I know they're going to show this game's sold out. They're going to show up in numbers in Birmingham. It's going to be loud, so you'll have something of a home court advantage to rely on. So I think there's a lot of factors that definitely lean Auburn and give them the ability to keep this one close.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I'll take Houston in a close one here, but I think we'll go off that Kempom line -5. I think Auburn can cover that, and this will be a one possession game. But I think we're a better team than people are giving us credit for right now. But we're gonna really find out. I mean, I guess we shouldn't say find out a lot about Stephen Pearl because, like, obviously he's got a long career ahead of him. But like, we're gonna find out where he's at as a coach right now, because if he can play Kelvin Sampson in Houston and bring his team to Birmingham up against them and go toe to toe with them, that says a lot about him as a coach to be able to do that this early in his career. And yeah, I think we have the team to do it, and I think he's got the he's got the right stuff in him to not be intimidated by that. And Jacob, you said you were going Houston here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're all in Houston, but I think it'll be a little closer than Matt thinks, at least. So
I think it'll be like maybe 7 or 8 points.
Gotcha. So you got Houston to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's basically going to be a road game, so I would say, yeah. I mean, Houston will play like, I'd say they control a lot of the game, but it's going to be close.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited to get up there to Birmingham Sunday and watch this one. I can't freaking wait. Tomorrow is going to fucking drag on. It's going to be fun. These games in Birmingham are always fun, man, because, like, I mean, Jacob, you got to see it last year. Like, we have a traveling fan base. Like, that game sold out. Like, there's going to be a lot of orange and blue there, and it's going to be loud. So, yeah, and then some other games this weekend. You got Clemson and Georgetown early tomorrow. You got Buzz Williams returning to Marquette with Maryland. So got that one to look out for.
You got Oklahoma versus Nebraska in the Sanford Pentagon. I was looking down and I saw that pop up. I was like,
always fun environment.
Venue. You got on the mid-major ranks, you got SoCon A-Sun Challenge, sort of like the MAC Sun Belt Challenge.
And then Sunday night, you got Florida, Miami. Florida goes on the road. Or no, that's in Jacksonville, actually. So, yeah, we'll see. Should be something. Should be a home environment for Florida. But we'll find out if Florida is able to get their issues figured out Sunday night. Miami's not a great team, but, you know, if Florida doesn't have their act together, Miami can keep that thing close. So, yeah, any other games this weekend I didn't bring up you guys wanted to say anything about? Or
nothing comes to mind.
All right. Well, I'll wrap this thing up. The fact 18 people are watching us right now is crazy. It is like it is 12:40 my time, so that's 1:40 on the East Coast, and 18 people are watching us bullshit about college basketball very early on a Saturday. But yeah, we had some great games this week. Look forward to this weekend. We'll try to do it Sunday night. You guys think we make it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So we'll shoot for Sunday night sometime during the Eagles and Lions. Sunday night should have a good game to watch there. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in who's watching right now. Be sure to subscribe to Sectator Media on YouTube. Follow Sectator Media on Twitter. Follow One Shining Recap on Twitter. Retweet this, share the show, like the show, all that. Doing our best to keep it going. Got something cool in the works right now, so see if we can make that a reality next week. But yeah, might have some cool content to share with everybody. Don't know when the time or day or whenever that is going to happen, but there are talks taking place for something cool to happen. So I'll put that information out if it comes to fruition, and obviously I'll let you guys know. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Everybody have a good night, and we'll be back Sunday.